Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the James and Brown podcast. I'm your host Raj, and with me as always is my co-host Spencer.
Hey everybody.
How you doing, man?
Good.
Okay, now we're actually going to move on to the recap portion. But first I need to give a shout out. We've talked about this a couple times, but our Log Horizon podcast was a good podcast which had horrible sound quality to the point where Spencer and I consider it completely unlistenable.
It was pretty much like this. Keep talking.
So, Log Horizon is a really great anime where things happen. And it's pretty much horrible.
It's as distracting as that.
But one individual, I mean, a few people have at least attempted to listen to it.
If you have, please let us know. Follow us at JNB Podcast on Twitter.
I was going to plug us at the end, but whatever.
I want to plug it now.
Fine. So, this individual not only listened to the entire thing from start to finish, but gave us critique. He gave us feedback on things and answered questions we had.
What a champ.
Your Reddit name is The Outsider. You are an amazing person. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much.
No, we were so bummed. You have no idea how depressed we were at that error because we loved Log Horizon. We went so into depth with it. And it was ruined by poor sound quality. We were so bummed.
Yeah. You know what? That he actually, I'm assuming you're a guy, The Outsider. Sorry if I'm wrong. But he said, so why didn't James make any mention of all the characters who had big boobs? I thought he would hate that. And I was like, because you got a point.
I'm just going to answer that question now because I don't know how to explain it. If the big boobs are enclosed in a shirt, I don't really mind. It's when they start overly like sexualizing the skin portion, then it gets to, I don't know. It's just, does that sound weird to you?
No, but Witchcraft Works, he still dropped.
I just didn't. Well, the thing about Log Horizon is that it's established itself as a good store. And I know Witchcraft Works. You know what? I'm going to go back and say Witchcraft Works probably is great.
It's not.
Maybe I'll, okay.
It's not great.
Thank you. It makes me so mad. Anyways,
it's fine, but it's not great.
I chose to, because Log Horizon had a backing of solid character and good story, I can forgive those allowances to the fans who like that kind of stuff. I understand.
Okay.
However, when an anime is based solely on the idea that every 10 minutes a girl's breast will be pressed up against the guy's back, or the button will pop, or they'll... You know what? I told Rajpreet, I know that an anime has entered my drop list when the animators take the time to animate physics of breasts.
Yeah.
When they take the time to do that, I know, give or take. I think Nanana's Island has some of that, but so I'm a little hypocritical only because I know what my limits are, if that makes sense. I'm not just accept everything like you, Mr. Brown.
Okay, no. I don't accept idol anime.
Okay.
It's just my one thing I can't watch.
Enough. And I don't watch Yuri. Even if it's in little doses, I just don't like it.
It's fair.
Makes me uncomfortable.
So, moving on to we're finally moving on to the recap portion, despite saying it a few times.
Don't worry, we will put this in the description. So you've made it. Welcome to the description click. If you didn't want to listen to World Godly Knows, shame on you, but we still love you. Welcome to the...
Oh, no, I don't love you if you don't like the World Godly Knows. Oh, I mean, if you didn't listen to it because you don't want it spoiled, that's fine with me.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you don't listen to it because you don't like World Godly Knows, I don't like you.
Okay, welcome to our weekly update on the seasons. So
we'll start with Black Bullet, we did last week. We'll refrain from using a certain word that we said quite a bit during last week.
Rhymes with bitin'.
Okay, so Black Bullet kind of last week it focused a lot on the racism and character building between Rentaro and Enju. I'm really surprised I couldn't remember Rentaro's name because it's pretty much identical to Okabe's first name in Steins Gate, which I loved.
Yeah.
So I have no idea why I couldn't remember his name last week.
Well, don't even ask me. I don't remember names ever.
Yeah, well, I agree with that. So Rentaro, basically it starts off with him finding out that Enju went back to school. Yeah. And so he runs to school and everybody hates her. All of her friends are threatening to kill her. Not very smart of them, considering she's a super powered human.
Yeah, but they're humans, and the whole story is based on the racism and the fear aspect that people respond in negative ways because they don't understand the unknown.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I just never understand the fact that there's something stronger than you and you want to hurt it when it can kill you really easily.
Or they're the only thing saving you from all the giant bugs in the world? Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway, so it starts off there, and then it's a pretty nice moment where Rintaro says, no matter who rejects you, you'll always have me. I can honestly see why she fell in love with him.
But there was a really sad moment, though, where she's like, but they're my friends. She was trying really hard.
And he says, not anymore.
Not anymore. And I was like, ugh, she's probably so used to that. Like, because he had so offhandedly said, let's change schools again.
Yeah.
And, you know, who knows how many times that's happened to her.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Poor Anju. But, yeah, I can see why she fell in love with him now. Because he says, I'll always be with you.
His character is coming really clean. Like, before, it was, you were a little uncertain about his character in relation to the, what are they called? Interpreters? What are they?
Initiators.
Initiators are the people who deal with the cursed children, right?
No, initiators are the cursed children.
Okay. So he has a heart for initiators. He doesn't like the stereotyping. He doesn't like the racism. He doesn't like how they're treated because he has a really good relationship with Enju.
Yeah.
Oh, and speaking of which, in the middle, right after this is where we begin to get more revelation on Rentaro's character.
Do we?
Yeah, because he gets in that big fight. Because what happens is...
Oh my god, the fight was so good.
He's with Enju now, and then he gets a call from... Oh yeah, he's at the school, and a helicopter comes.
Yeah.
And apparently his we don't have her name, unfortunately. I don't remember what her name is.
His employer?
His employer,
like
which is his high school
friend,
used all of her savings to get a helicopter to get him to the giant...
We don't really need to explain this. I mean, people have watched this, so...
Gal?
I don't know. The bugs.
The big bugs. Anyways...
Basically, the fight happens.
Enju wrecks it.
Destroys this bug out of
good.
Pure rage.
And the cool thing is I love her face when she kind of smiles and says, I killed it, right?
And then she starts crying.
Because she was doing it, though nobody was watching, to prove to her classmates that she was trying to protect them. That was really neat. I like that.
The tone shift that happens.
Oh, the red color.
Is so cool.
Well done.
Holy crap. I don't remember the name of the villain. Because it's a really difficult name for me to remember. We should probably write it down. But anyway, it just has everything goes red. You see his face, and then his hand is on Rentaro's face.
Oh my goodness. No, but like you see a flash, like it's so artistic. He's standing and you see a flash of him pop on screen.
I love the art in the show.
You know those late night, watch this car go around the corner? You know those things?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like that. Like popped up on screen, and then Rentaro just dies, pretty much. This guy is so overpowered, it's not even funny.
But I like the explanation that they give why he's overpowered. He's removed a bunch of his organs.
Yeah, and he's replaced them with the Verenium.
Verenium, I was going to call it Vibranium, but that's Captain America's shield.
Verenium metals and
also,
stuff.
last week I said I like Rentaro because he's not an overpowered character. He's a normal high schooler.
Nope.
And then they debunk it by having him throw a goddamn Falcon Punch.
Yeah. Okay, you know what happens in this fight? He actually goes, head to head really well with the bad guy. But then the bad guy has this... Well, he's fighting, and he tells Enju, get out of here, because he doesn't want Enju to die.
He knows he's going to lose.
So Enju runs. Well, we know why he knows he's going to lose and is okay with it. We find that out later. When when the bad guy releases the force field that shoves him up against the rock.
Yeah.
Okay? He falls, and then he gets shot 4 times.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, falls in the river, and we get a flashback to him get on an operating table, and then he wakes up. Okay? You know what?
He probably has the stuff inside of him.
He's Wolverine.
He's
Wolverine. You look, watch the anime again. He's only been asleep for 1 day, she said.
1.5.
When he put on the shirt, no wounds.
Oh really?
No wounds.
I didn't notice that.
There was absolutely nothing on his body. He was fully healed.
So maybe that was his power.
So why do you think he's fully able to put his clothes back on, walks around, nothing? And they keep alluding to it because he's telling his sensei, he's like, I have never once hated you
for what you did to me.
Okay. What did she do?
I'm pretty sure there's more to it than just healing.
Pretty much turned him into
Wolverine.
Yeah, what's the name I'm thinking of?
The heck is that?
Come on, somebody's gonna help me out.
I have no idea what you're saying.
Inspector Gadget.
Okay, he's not Inspector Gadget.
Well, I mean, come on. I know he's not. I'm just kind of putting it in there. Maybe he has Veranium stuff.
I think he does.
Well, it gave him super fast healing. We'll have to rewatch and I'll show you. It's for 2 seconds. That's why I sent you that text. I was like, he's pretty much Wolverine.
That's what you meant by that.
That's what I meant.
Okay. I didn't really understand.
Yeah, I know. That was cool. And then anyways, what happens is he heals in 1 day. And
1.5.
And he goes with Enju and a bunch of initiators and their guardians or whatever they're called.
They basically found the masked guy.
Because the masked guy, what we learn, is going into the forest, and apparently there was something called the Class 5
bug.
And the Class 5 bugs are pretty much Cthulhu's.
They're pretty much, I said we're not going to say the word, but we're going to say it, Colossal Titans.
I love how this anime is going, because it totally feels like The Last of Us. You know what I mean? When they wandered into that grassy area covered in like abandoned buildings, totally zombie apocalypse feel to it. But it also feels like Gargantua, sorry. Because Gargantua had this twisted human aspect.
Yeah.
And you know when they saw that huge tower and they're like, that was the last generation's biggest mistake. That was a killer of humans. Like, I love all of the stuff that it's alluding to.
It didn't really strike me like it struck you.
It's leading up to like a history that I totally want to learn about. Who were this lost generation? Why were the bugs actually coming to attack them? They're totally dropping hints like, oh, God sent them as a punishment. There's obviously people who think that the humans in the lost generation were stupid. You know what I mean? Like, imagine us looking back on the generation of World War III using thermonuclear weapons and ruining our world. We would think they were stupid.
Sure.
Right? It's kind of that way.
I think Rentaro is going to... I mean... Okay, this anime already destroyed one of my predictions, but I'm going to make another one. He's going to get more than one initiator, I feel like. Because he spent a good portion of the anime talking to that girl.
You're just hoping for a harem.
I don't want a harem with little girls. That makes no sense.
I wouldn't put it past you.
My God. What do you think I am? Whatever. Anyway, because I think either the girl is going to die, the cursed child that he would talk to, or her partner's going to die.
Who is the partner? Is that crazy guy?
He's the crazy guy who tried to fight him the first time they met.
Yeah.
With a big
sword.
So
the hardcore one. He's not going to die.
I'm pretty sure it's either him or her. One of them going... Or maybe both.
Maybe.
And I feel like Rentaro is going to start adopting more cursed children because he's the only one who treats them right.
I don't know if he's going to adopt them. I think he's just going to be able to utilize them. What he has with Enju won't be broken. And I don't think there's going to be a big party.
I do like how Enju got really jealous that he was paying attention to another cursed child. And then Rentaro was like talking to the other ones like, I don't know why she's so mad. And the girl's like, it's so goddamn obvious. What's wrong with you?
I had an odd moment where I actually began rooting for Enju and Rentaro. Like,
their relationship's so good.
Despite it being a huge age difference, for the first time ever, I was like, come on. I actually wanted to kiss.
I don't want to kiss, but the way I see it, Rentaro's relationship with her is very father-daughter.
Yeah.
The way I see it. I mean, all little girls love their dads. Yeah. All of them. And so it feels like a very father-daughter relationship to me.
A strange one. But I mean, I understand what you're saying.
He's pretty much her adoptive dad.
So it ended pretty much there. They were heading towards the lake or the ocean, where the bad guy was, and it ended. And you know what? This is why, and I know I just bashed it in the beginning of the World Godly Knows thing, but you need to stick with an anime for 3 episodes. Everybody was saying that this anime was going to be good. I wasn't feeling it last, but man, do I feel it now. The action is amazing. The art's good. They don't just play through the fight scenes like Chaika does. They actually have a really artistic way of showing it, and I really like that. You know what? It's hard to explain.
I don't know what you mean.
I think somebody will out there.
So, ready to move on from Black Bullet?
Yeah, it's
still good. I've heard people say that it's being rushed. Like the last episode felt rushed. I didn't feel that way.
I felt it's going pretty good.
Because I very much saw a very obvious change in gears from story to action.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel rushed at all.
But I don't think it feels rushed. As long as they keep building the story that I'm expecting to hear, then I have no issues.
I am not expecting a great story from this series. I'm just expecting really good action.
I think you're missing out. Like, there's a lot of undertones going on here that I think is going to be good.
I didn't catch the Wolverine thing, but everything else is.
You know what's great though?
Fine.
There's a lot of things during this season, like different animes that you were predicting and are getting shut down. And
I would say only 2.
Well, that's good though, because if you get shut down on a prediction, and we've been watching anime long enough we would sit on an episode we hadn't watched together and say this and it's going to happen.
And
boom, boom.
If an anime doesn't do what I predict, that's a good thing.
Oh, I know.
Because that means it's not predictable.
That's why I'm saying this is going to be a good season.
Mm-hmm. So next we're going to talk about Chaika, the Coffin Princess. I like this episode.
I did too.
I like Chaika so much.
And you know what? You said at the beginning of episode 1, you're like, I really hope that the way she speaks isn't going to get annoying. and it wasn't. It's good.
It's still cute. I still like it. I told you this earlier this week. I finally figured out why I like the series. It's because it reminds me so heavily of something. And it finally clicked this week. It reminds me so much of Fire Emblem. It's ridiculous.
Oh, the art style and how everything is?
Gillette's group?
Yeah.
Tell me that's not the Fire Emblem protagonists.
Don't ask
That's
me.
your main
I've
group
only
in Fire
played,
Emblem. But like if
GameCube
any
one.
kind of RPG, that would be your main group. Chaika's group is the group you would go and follow who you're trying to stop. It's like the reverse. And the hero that you saw
I
at the
see
end,
what you're saying.
Yeah, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even the art style is very similar. Fire Emblem Awakening, in particular, if anybody's played it, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. No,
the 3DS. Oh, that's the one that everyone liked that you could have.
It's so good. Yeah, where you can have relationships and stuff. Yeah. If anybody's played it, you're going to know what I'm talking about here. The hero at the very end looked so much like Cordelia. It was ridiculous. She's a playable character in Fire Emblem Awakening who wears full body armor, uses a lance, and rides a Pegasus. Yeah. Pretty similar to a girl who rides a Dragoon, I'd say.
Yeah.
It just blew my mind. I'm like, I feel like I'm watching Fire Emblem Awakening.
But it's a good thing, though.
It's so
not like
good.
they're ripping it off.
No, it makes me very happy.
This episode, there really isn't much to talk about. There's a lot of world building. Like, you meet the informant, who seems to be either a really powerful... He's a magician, but even... sorry, I'm just trying to check the name here so I don't butcher it. Is it Toru?
Toru? I think it's Toru.
Toru can't hit him. He tries to hit him, and then the informant says, wow, you picked a good guy to go with you if he felt like he needs to attack me, which kind of puts some undertones about if this guy's really powerful, who is he, right? And it's also revealed that Chaika has no idea what's going on. She doesn't know why she's collecting these things other than she just feels like she needs to.
Yeah, I have a couple of theories.
Well, at the beginning you saw the dragon, right, talking to her. I don't know where that fits in.
I've heard a theory that I really like. I don't think it's gonna happen, but what someone came up with this theory that Chaika, there's a real Chaika, the Chaika that we're traveling with is fake. They've been mentioning that. They've been mentioning there are multiple Chaikas. Since the king was evil, this guy said the Chaika, the real Chaika, was probably evil herself. And she knows she can't send herself to collect the parts to get the weapon.
Well, that's why there's been so many.
Which is why she makes multiple Chaikas who don't know anything, who think they're doing something good to get the weapons for her.
Is Chaika the dragon that was referenced?
I doubt it. But
Wasn't it this anime that there was a random like hippo creature? Wasn't this anime?
Doesn't sound familiar.
Like we were watching and all of a sudden there was this big bear thing. Come on, am I crazy?
Does not sound familiar.
There are animal creatures in this world where they have animal heads. There's no other fantasy.
I don't think so.
What other fantasy anime are we watching this season? There's this one. There's that weird.
No Game No Life. Are you thinking of that one? Oh,
was it No Game No Life?
No, that was in damn it. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And we laughed so hard because it was so random.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
I don't know. I hope so. I don't remember.
Oh, what was that from? Oh, damn it.
It was in an anime that came out this season, though.
It was.
It just made me laugh. It made me crack up. I don't think there's creature heads maybe in this anime.
It's not, but it was funny.
This is a really good world building episode. The party that's actually following
Gillette's group
is now, and I like this. It didn't take them 20 episodes. They began to realize that something's a little fishy.
Yeah, this is something I really like about the series is where they question. They're like, why are we chasing Chaika in the first place?
They're like, if we're so sure that Chaika will use this for a weapon, who's to say our group isn't using it for a weapon? It's classic.
And the one guy says, did the king even have a daughter? I don't remember anything about this.
Yeah, he's like, we're not even talking about something super fundamental,
Yeah.
This anime, also very good. Fight scenes are great. The characters are dynamic, and I like that. There's some tropes in the Gillette group, like the girl who likes Gillette and all that.
This is why I said it's so much like Fire Emblem, because that's in Fire Emblem. There's the girl who loves the guy who's leading them.
I'm totally okay making comparisons to Fire Emblem.
It's
as long as people
very happy.
As long as people don't get mad, of course. I mean.
Okay, whatever. We won't touch that subject.
So yeah, that's Chaika Coffin Princess. It ended where you meet the Dragoon ruler who owns the next piece of the body. So that's going to flesh out later.
So it looks like each hero who took down the king took a piece of his body. That's how it looks.
I don't know. Maybe this next ruler will actually join his party?
Nah. Have you seen the preview?
No.
It shows them fighting.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't mean they're not going to join the preview.
It makes me excited because he's going, he's Blood Iron, he's fighting her.
I love the fight scenes.
And she looks like she's way out of his league.
Oh, okay.
Because if we think about it, they're very seasoned fighters. I mean, they're called heroes for a reason, right? So
no, I really enjoy where this is going.
I'm loving Chaika.
Just so everybody knows, we are up to date to about Saturday 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that means that the only anime that we're following that we haven't caught up with on Crunchy is Ace of Diamond, which we're not talking about in this podcast anyways.
Yep.
And Kawai Complex, which we are.
So we're going to be a week behind.
But we have an episode to discuss,
yeah,
I believe. So we do have an episode to discuss because it did come out after our last podcast. So we'll probably be 1 week behind Kawai Complex unless our podcast gets delayed. So that's just letting you know that if you're up to date, so are we. And we're doing our best to keep it that way.
Yeah. So the next one we're talking about is If Her Flag Breaks. Now, last week, I said that you are going to drop this very soon.
And I did try, but the stupid robot, I was like, what the heck?
I love the robot. It's so funny.
Why is the robot blushing?
Because she got accepted. She has a power outlet in her mouth. It's hilarious.
Okay, you know what I understand?
It's just harem comedy,
She eats electricity. Why the heck did she run out with a piece of bread in her mouth? Stupid!
Because she was trying to fit in. Okay, look, you can't look for logic in a harem, okay? It's just wacky fun.
Okay, well, you know what's funny? I dare you to try to talk for more than 2 minutes about what happened in that episode.
Oh, that's going to be difficult.
I know what you're talking about. Whatever, you go ahead. You go ahead.
For the girls in If Her Flag Breaks, I really only like a couple of them. I like the main Soon. I think her name is Nanami, and I like the what's her name? I like the robot. I don't remember her name. I like the new character, and I like the trap. The other characters, the one who's in love with him and the older sister, I really don't care for. They're kind of boring. But regardless, talking about the new character, basically this episode was about him meeting a new character. They have to go do this whole. I think it's like do you remember what they were called when we were in school and we had to like
sports days?
Sports days, that's what they are. But there's for an entire week.
This is why we're podcast partners.
That's why we need each other.
I don't even care about what you're talking about, but I'm there for you, bro.
Thanks, man. So they're having like they're having a sports week, and the thing is the president, the student body council president, is a dumbass who basically takes anything as a challenge. And she says if the main character's group doesn't, his name is Sota. If Sota's group doesn't win and they're not MVPs, then you can go and shut down his dorm. And the guys are like, we didn't say anything about this. She's like, no, this is what we're gonna do now. And then everybody's like, what is wrong with you? We just spent an entire episode getting this thing up and running. So they basically get a new girl who is going to train Sota's group, and she has a hates men flag. And you find out later that she hates men because there's only one guy she liked. Did you even finish this episode?
No.
Okay.
I stopped when the girl was sucking on the power outlet.
Oh, so funny.
I was like, oh, my ride's here. And I could resume it, but I just...
And so she, basically she's training his entire group. And Sota eventually asks, so why do you hate men? She's like, I'll tell you about the only man who's worthy about talking. And she talks about this childhood friend, and she's like, his name was Soda. And then anybody with half a brain knows where this is going. And he's like, oh, that's a coincidence. Someone used to call me Soda a long time ago. She's like, really? I'll text him right now. She texts that guy, and his phone rings. And then he's like, well. And then because she's been berating him this entire time. She's like, you're not a real man. Real men wouldn't fall this easily. Real men could run more. She's like, you need to be more like Soda. And then she's like, I've been berating the love of my life. And then her flag turns into a yandere flag. Do you know what yandere is?
Isn't yandere like the abusive...
The psychotic
lover?
And that made me excited because I really like yandere. Yeah. Yandere because they make for very interesting anime. And I was like, oh man. I mean, I know this isn't going to go the killing yandere route. I doubt it. But it could go dark. Mm. And that made me happy. And then he transforms the flag like that. Like, he's like, okay, I gotta... He knows what a yandere flag means. He's like, I have to change this. I have to change it now. And he's like... I could never hate you. And then her flag turns into a conquered flag in an instant. And he's so shocked. He's looking at her. He's like, why are you so easy? He's like, that took literally no effort. And then I had the exact same reaction. I'm like, why is she so easy?
You know what? I'm not going to watch it anymore, but I really enjoy your recaps. I'm not going to lie. You summed up 24 minutes of wasted time into 2 minutes of enjoyment. And you know what? You probably talked for more than 2 minutes.
I'm a good storyteller.
You are. It's good.
So, No Game No Life. If Her Flag Breaks, I'm enjoying it, loving it. Moving on.
I dropped it, but you're still going to hear about it. And you know what? That's okay. That's okay. And here's the one I'm super pumped about.
No Game No Life. Holy crap, this was a good episode.
This episode was so good.
Okay. Any anime where the characters suddenly turn into JoJo characters is Instantly amazing.
I love the way that they are together. Sora and Shiro just. It's so funny, like the way they react together, and the fact that Shiro's so quiet, but she also turned into a JoJo character as well.
It's so great,
and I love how when they said that, both the girls were like in the corner, like hiding. It was so funny.
I love this series so much.
So what happened was at the beginning of this episode, the end of the last one, they really did big teaser on him trying to be the king. Also, don't watch the preview. You know what's gonna happen in the next episode coming up. But they spoil it in the preview. What happens is Sora is like, everyone is underestimating humanity. I hate this. So he goes in, he accuses, I'm just going to get her name, Kurami?
Kurami.
He accuses Kurami of cheating, points out her elvish friend, because humans can't see magic, but apparently they can.
He's like the one guy with a hood in the corner. Take it off.
And then she takes it off and she got elf ears, and everyone's like, whoa. And then Kurami tries to frame him.
She's very smart. I think it was very clever of her.
You know, it's classic, though. She immediately picks up and says, wow, so you're working with elves? And he goes, oh, that's classic. It's very good banter.
They had very good banter.
It's very good banter. So what I'm thinking, actually, now thinking back, I think the phone is what can see magic. The phone. The camera. I think the camera can pick up the magic. I don't think they can. Because technically they are humans.
Right, but they're humans from a different dimension.
I know, but I think I'm going to be right on this. Because she even said, I've seen that slate before. They're putting a lot of emphasis on the phone.
That's because she saw that slate at the poker game.
Why is he taking so many pictures?
I don't know, they're weird. Is there a thing? Okay, if any Japanese people watch this podcast or listen to this podcast, can you tell us?
Yeah.
Tweet us at JNB Podcast on Twitter.
I believe that he is actually recording stuff for his own analysis later. Anyways, he challenged her to a game. She says, we can't do it here. And then she goes off and sets up a game
of chess.
Of chess, and they all go together. And Sora obviously belittles Steph and says you didn't see all of the angles and everything like that.
Which is good. Steph is supposed to be our eyes.
It's true. Steph is seeing everything through this, and she gets Sora to explain, which is great. There's a lot of dialogue going here. It's funny, but it's all just explaining the world building. But man, this chess game. Like he goes
Holy crap, this chess game.
He goes in and he goes, oh, it's chess. And Shiro is the brain tech, kind of the brainy, she can kind of see the many outcomes.
I think it's like Shiro is more of the thinker, like she thinks the tactical thinker, where Sora more or less comes with creative solutions.
Yeah. So what happens is Shiro decides to start the game. And she's going... and immediately everything's blown out of the water because she says, okay, pawn move forward 2 spaces. And then the Kurami just goes, okay, pawn move forward. And the pawn moved forward. And what happened was Shiro started playing classic chess where Kurami began playing...
Pretty much magic chess.
She was just kind of, and everyone knows she's cheating somehow, right?
Yeah.
Or at least that's what we think. And so that we're beginning to pick up that this isn't chess. You're actually asking the pieces to move.
Well, she says I think she says in the beginning that the pieces have will of their own.
Yeah, and your morale, the more morale you have, the more they'll move forward. Because one time she said move, and one chess piece moved like 3 spaces beyond what it could actually move, right? And so Shiro is trying her hardest to win, and she eventually kind of gets really weepy because she's apologizing because
she hit a wall. She can't win.
She can't win. She's getting really upset. If they lose... something bad happens to them, right? I don't remember.
I think he says like she can do whatever they want.
The life. He always bets their life because
it's the only thing they have,
and it's the best thing they can bet because it's worth everything. You could if you bet your life, you can bet against everything, right? So, anyways, he takes over, and he gives the best speech ever.
He brings the morale shooting through the roof.
Like he pretty much tells everybody that if they win, and he's talking to the chess pieces, he will give every virgin to them in the kingdom. They can have any women they want, all the money.
Like, you will bang as many women as you want.
He'll give them tax reductions, and everyone's like, "What are you talking?" And I think even the guy says, "How can you take a game so seriously? Like, what are you doing?" And so the battle goes on, and the girl finds out that this is going downhill. So she pulls another trick out of her sleeve, where any person who touches her pieces turn into her pieces.
I want to mention that his the culminating reason that the chess pieces morale went up is because he presented Shiro to them, and he's like, men will do anything for something that's cute.
The universal constant in any universe is cuteness. Men will do anything for cuteness. And that was funny. And so we find out that Sora actually says, hey, look, you're cheating. You're putting forced morale on. It's obvious that she's cheating.
But he can't prove it.
Can't prove it because the elf girl is using her magic from a forest like probably miles away, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so what happens is the queen of the enemy team is just about to kill a pawn, and he sacrifices himself, jumps down, and then it goes from a strategy game to a dating sim. And he pretty much just launches into like flattery.
He confesses his love, I guess, for the queen. And then she drops her sword and changes sides.
Yeah.
So we went from a chess game to a tactical game, to a more so tactical game, to a dating sim, and I couldn't be happier.
And then he walks up, and then the Kurumi is beginning to send the pieces, but they won't fight the queen because they love the queen.
Yeah.
So everything is falling apart for Kurumi, and I was totally blown away because honestly, you could not expect what the heck just happened in this chess game.
There's no way you could have
so good. And so what happened was the episode ended on that note. They're still in the middle of their battle, but he's very confident in himself.
Yeah, things look like they're going really well. He's beating the magic one step at a time.
And Steph is continually getting impressed by them, as we are.
Everybody is.
The art is beautiful. The character voicing is great. This, like I keep saying to Rajpreet, I personally think that this is better than Captain Earth.
It's the same reason I say Kuroko is better than Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is technically, on a technical level, a better anime, but it doesn't give me nearly as much enjoyment as Kuroko does. It's the same thing here.
When I watch Captain Earth, I sit there, I'm enjoying it. The story's great. I can't find any holes. The characters are wonderful. It's definitely the top 2 of the season.
But we don't get the same kind of enjoyment we do out of No Game No Life.
I don't fist pump when Daiichi does something. I fist pump when Sora does something because it's so ridiculous. It's awesome.
It also helps that Sora and Shiro are voiced by Sorata and Mashiro from Sakuraso. So Sakuraso, you have returned to me. I couldn't be happier.
So we're going to move on to Nanana, which is not Nanana.
Or Nanana me.
Yeah, so...
I'll actually call her by her actual name.
Yeah, so it's Nanana. So
last week I said I like the characters, but I didn't like the story. I said I found it boring. Yes, it did. I am now on board with the story. I really like it.
We can luckily shrink the plot pretty much down because you don't really get plot to the last 10 minutes. What happens is the main character, Jugo, Tensai the detective, and Daru, which is she a boy?
No, it's a trap. I told you.
Is she a boy?
Yeah, she is a boy.
Man, I totally thought she was a girl.
No, I wish she was a girl.
I thought because didn't he try to reveal it and then she said it was a joke?
No.
I don't think she's a trap.
Pretty sure he's a trap.
I think I'll go back to that episode and prove it to you because he tried to flip up her skirt and she was wearing jogging pants and she went, I tricked you because he got really embarrassed because he assumed that she was a guy. He felt her up and he flipped it open. Yeah.
Okay, while we're talking, I'm just gonna look this up.
Okay, I think I'm right. I'll handle this one. Don't worry. So pretty much, Jugo is beginning to get more information about Nanana, finding out that she's acting as a neutral body, and there's something called the Leprechaun that has set up these ruins everywhere that hid her treasures. And at this point, the treasures have been pretty harmless. They find out that there's a teapot that can auto brew tea when water's poured in. I think the first treasure reveals lies, which is a pretty powerful tool in itself, right?
That's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, but all of a sudden they join up. They all 3 of them, Doru, Tensai, and Jugo, join up the adventure club, and he says we need to go find the next rune.
He is a boy.
He is a boy?
He is a boy.
I thought
he just is very feminine.
Oh, okay. Well, at least did someone else discuss it and was confused? I think so.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, Jugo has to do this weird. Apparently, if this keeps going, he has to go through trials with.
This was so funny.
I was actually kind of shocked. In order to get information from her, so he pretends to be a lover, and he pretends to feed her pudding, and then she berates him for getting the wrong pudding and kicks him in the butt. And then she goes, "Oh, thanks for doing that," and gives this really vague thing like it's in this glass. Thing floating in the sky. So they all go there.
I mean, I can't blame her. She's a ghost stuck in a room. She has to have fun somehow.
It's I like Nanana. She's funny.
She's hilarious.
So all 4 of them go up, and he says we should decide who goes in. So Jugo, Tensai, and the main club head with the glasses.
The head of the club with glasses, whose name I can't remember because I don't care about him. You know what? His The girl who's in love with him is like right hand. I hate her so much. She brings nothing to this story. She does nothing.
I totally, for some reason, confused her with Tensai at the beginning. I just didn't even know who she was.
All she does is swoon over him and get mad at somebody who doesn't.
And she's probably just going to be used for fan service.
She hasn't been yet, and
she was in the maid outfit.
That's not really. I don't really consider maid outfits fan service. She sucks. I hate her.
So, anyways, they miraculously find out the pin. I don't really like it when they do that. There's no struggle. But you know what I said last year? The struggle's not real. It's still not real. They're still solving the puzzles instantly. Anyways.
But I like the way they do it.
Yeah, at least they explain it. So this next puzzle, you all watched it. The glass tubes, they're running. They all end up at the chest. And this is the big reveal. Like, they find a magic genie lamp, pretty much, in the form of a staff.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's what you mean.
He gets... This guy, like, at first, I didn't have any hint that he was a bad guy.
I didn't either.
No,
I guess.
He grabs his staff and he goes, I've been looking at you forever. He has this twisted look on his face and he says, I want to get out of here. He warps out by himself and then he walks out the door, leaving them to, that's a cute part too, but leaving them to hang out on the chest. He goes out and he uses it to put the girl to sleep. We're rapidly finding out this staff could do anything he wants.
Yep.
So he leaves and then Jugo and Tensai are now stuck on the chest floating in the air in the ruins of the ruins, and no one can see them. But they're sharing this moment where they're like, "Do you not feel anything?" Like, that was really.
It was
cute.
a really cute moment.
I kind of like got into their relationship at that point. I really like that.
I'll ship it. Tensai X Jugo. So he doesn't really have any other options at this point.
They called the police, which I have no idea how the police ended up being those two robbers.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So, anyways, the two robbers pose as the police, beat up Jugo and strip him to his boxers, and then he goes into Nanana's room, and Nanana's like, "Oh crap, yeah, that is the staff of all power, blah, blah, blah."
And Jugo's like, "So it's invincible?" And she's like, "Nope.
Not exactly." And it cuts to a text message saying,
"I like this.
I want to meet with, what is it, the council or something of the island. I have..."
No, she's gonna meet with the glasses dude who took the staff.
Yes.
And Jugo's like, "I'm not letting him get away with this either." Yeah. And so, revenge episode, yes.
Good, like revenge episode. They're building up to some really powerful bad guy. I was getting concerned that it would turn into a game where they would just solve puzzles and get treasures. I'm glad that something else is coming out of it.
I'm totally on board with the series now. I really like it.
It's really good.
One thing I want to say, I hated the opening theme. And I didn't know why until recently. So this week when I was going to watch it, I just left it open in a tab and let the opening theme play while I was going on Reddit or whatever. And I realized, you know what? This opening theme isn't too bad. Why did I hate it so much? And then I watched it and it was like, it made me sick to my stomach with how just bad it was. And I realized the song itself is okay, but my God, it is the most visually unstimulating thing I've ever seen in my life. It's so simple. Slow and so boring. Yeah. It's just horrible. Mm-hmm. Ugh.
Oh, I want to start this one. Kawai Complex. Oh. Okay. Captain Earth and No Game No Life are the top of the season. Oh, and Black Bullet now and Chaika. Okay, whatever. I could keep going. There are lots of action fantasy animes going on that are great.
You like this so much more than I do.
But the one anime that is a slice of life romance anime that is sitting at the top of my list for romance and slice of life, which is one of the only ones this season we're following. Is Kawai Complex. Oh my goodness! I can't even begin to stop comparing it to Meisana Koku. It's so
don't compare too much.
It's so sweet. Like I this with the bike. Like, okay, what happened? It's all very randomized. Like there's a bunch of stuff happening.
Go ahead, explain it.
He gets a bike in the mail, and he's like, "Yes, I get to drive to school." He's super pumped. And then the masochist guy, or he's a sadist. He's masochist, right? The masochist guy, he shows his skills in tying knots and stuff. Really funny. I just love how
that was pretty funny.
I love how the characters play off each other, like the immature older woman and all as whatever. So he really wants, I'm just gonna get a real name here. Ritsu? Yeah, he really wants Ritsu to ride on the bike with her. So he goes, "You know what? Hop on the bike, we'll ride to school." And she goes, "No, I will never ride with you." And he's like,
just crushed.
He's like, "Yeah, of course." And he rides away like super awkward, right? And you begin to actually see more of her character now, because she's like, oh. She kind of gets a little depressed about it. So then later on they meet in the library. She explains that, everyone in the complex really makes fun of us. And the truth is I love reading my books when I walk and all stuff. And so he kind of laughs at her because she's really cute.
It was a cute moment.
It's hard to put into words. There's really not much that happened that I can explain except the fact that I just love it. How red and stark No Game No Life is? Mm-hmm. It's beautiful for that. Kawai Complex is beautiful for its super soft, oversaturated purples.
Okay.
I love it.
I don't like it nearly as much as you do.
You're beginning to find out that this kind of anime I absolutely love. This sugary sweet like Kimi ni Todoke or Kimi no Boko or those kind of animes that go really slow and are building really nice relationships. I love them. They're really good.
I think I'm close to dropping it.
Are you serious?
But
why though?
Not because it's bad, because it's not bad.
Well, the problem is you're following 20 anime. I would hope
over 20. I'm at 24.
I would hope that you drop something else before Kawai Complex.
I'm at about 24 ongoing anime right now. So
if I have to sit and listen to your harem, please sit and listen to Kawai Complex.
Oh, I'll listen to your Kawai Complex.
I guess so. I guess it doesn't matter if you don't watch it.
But
you're gonna miss out though.
That's what you think. It's just it doesn't. It's Sakuraso light. I can't.
Oh, get out of here! You shouldn't have watched that series.
Oh, I'm not so happy I watched it.
I'm not gonna watch it till Kawai Complex is over because
fine with me.
Apparently, I don't want to ruin it. And I saw a couple screens. That is not an anime that I probably want to watch.
Why?
Well, there's probably a ton of fan service. At least what I've been noticing from some screenshots.
First couple episodes only. I told you. I told you about that up front.
I guess so.
I told you get past it and you'll like it.
Anyways, hopefully you didn't watch Sakuraso yet.
No, I really hope you watched
Sakuraso. And you didn't spoil this amazing gem of an anime coming out this season.
Sorry, it's not bad, but I find it pretty boring.
It's really cute, and I love it. It's a really good palate cleanser.
I don't particularly care for any of the characters. The main character's okay. The funniest bits for me are whenever the creepy guy does something and then the main character reacts to it. That's the majority of the comedy.
I love the way that the entire complex interacts with each other.
I don't care about the girl who's always, obsessed with guys and always naked. I don't care
She's
about.
not.
I don't care. Mostly naked in her underwear. Let's say in her underwear.
She isn't in her underwear.
Really?
No.
Come on.
There hasn't been an episode where she's just been in her underwear yet.
She's pretty much in her underwear.
No. Oh my gosh. Did we switch bodies? What the heck happened?
Okay, you know what? It doesn't
matter. Even matter to you?
I don't care about this anime. Is what I'm trying to say.
Don't come up with. You sound like me. Don't come up with random lame excuses to drop an anime.
It's boring. Nothing happens.
That's the best part about it.
This is why I can't handle Slice of Life. This is why I can't watch Nichijou because nothing happens.
This is why you didn't watch K-On! Either. K-On! Was fantastic.
Nothing happens in K-On!
It's amazing because nothing happens.
And it's somewhat of an idol anime.
You know what's awesome though? At the end of K-On!, I actually got emotionally very sad.
That's cool.
When they were graduating. It was... You know what I mean? Our days of simple routine are going away very quickly. And that nostalgia always brings me back.
I don't have nostalgia for that though.
That's because you do nothing.
What?
Except for the last semester of school, you had no job and no school, and your parents pay for stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That's awesome.
It's a good life.
But I mean, I don't have that, and I long. I guess that's why your life is a slice of life anime. Mine is not.
So, I see what you mean. So I'm like looking at myself. I'm like, man, this is pretty boring.
And we don't have. I guess that makes sense.
Okay.
We just came up with something really interesting about ourselves.
It's pretty profound. It's pretty profound.
You can start off Captain Earth.
So Captain Earth, which I watched a couple of hours ago, actually.
Yeah.
It was good. Something I don't understand. So basically in this episode, it's the fallout of what happened when Teppei piloted his mech and he's back on Earth. And he's pretty much in interrogation because it was a kilt gang, so an alien mech. And people don't know what's happening with him. Apparently, when you pilot Teppei, once he piloted it, apparently regained all memories of his alien life.
Because he is a kilt gang.
He's an alien. The kilt gang's not actually the alien name. It's the name of the mech.
They're alluding to the fact that he is a lost comrade or something. Which is kind of cool.
It is interesting. So basically, he's up and like in interrogation because they don't know what to do with him. They need to know if he's still like a good guy. Hannah is also like getting tests and stuff because she's the one who gave it energy.
Just before anybody freaks out at me, I'm not dropping the anime because she had an underwear scene. Okay, I'm not a loser. I can handle it.
Belly button forte.
Okay, there's a moment in the anime where Daichi's feeling really bummed because both his friends are getting tested and stuff. And the girl, I think her name's Hannah, is that right?
Akari.
Oh, sorry, Akari. She looks over and she goes, belly button, and she like throws her shirt up pretty much just to under her bra line and starts like dancing. It
was really funny.
She has like I guess a nice stomach or something, but like
I was like, this doesn't do anything for me.
It doesn't do anything for Daichi either.
You know what?
It's like I guess I feel okay.
In the Crunchyroll comments, some guy commented, he's like, never before has an anime like appealed to my belly button fetish, and I just laughed my ass off.
I'm glad somebody out there got his little fix there. Yeah, he got like 30 seconds of belly button rubbed in his face. I wish fan service was like that. I'd be okay with that.
Anyway, so the aliens basically decide, well, they know the mech. They know who Teppei is. They're like, is he a traitor? Well, we need to find out. So somehow, they don't explain how, but they get on Earth with a crepe truck. Also don't explain how they got that. But
we're talking about the other Kilt gangs, right? Yeah.
So they're basically like hanging around Japan or the island, and they're like selling crepes.
Oh, and I'm so dumb. When she was selling crepes, I was like, "Oh no, are they introducing a new character who's gonna be?"
Really?
I didn't click. I don't know.
Oh, the peaks.
Oh, whatever. I'll get rid of it later.
You'll fix it.
I didn't click, and then I'm like, oh. I watched a lot of anime. It's getting overwhelming. I was seriously hoping at this point in the season of spring that we would be able to drop more. I'm at 17 and you're at 20.
24.
24?
Yeah.
Oh, because you do off Crunchy stuff.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm watching 17 simulcasts on Crunchy. That doesn't happen. And the fact that they're all top quality is ridiculous.
It's a good season so far.
Yeah, I'm actually impressed.
So
bad time to start a podcast.
Yeah, I guess. We only got a lot of time, but dude, we're almost...
This is our longest podcast by about almost 2 times.
This is going to be awesome. So, basically what happens is Daichi goes into Teppei. He's like, we're still bros. Long story short. And then Teppei's like, yeah. He's all happy.
Pretty much, long story short.
And then
they pass off the baton, the surprise baton.
Yeah, they're still playing that game, which is great.
Which is cool. I like that they're doing that.
I love their relationship together. Yeah. It's so good. And then the aliens come in, they blow up the room. Yeah. And then Daichi's like bleeding all over. He's hurt. Teppei's more or less
They've set
fine.
a virus in the building to make sure that their defense operations down, which, Akari begins going
So
after.
Akari's like trying to fix that. Everybody goes to Daichi. They're like, oh God, because he's the only one who can pilot the goddamn Earth engine. And so like, Daichi, please don't be dead. And then he gets up and they're like, oh, thank you. And then so they scare off the aliens a little bit, but the aliens just run to their freaking crepe truck. And then a mech comes out of it, which I was pretty much expecting.
I was expecting that.
I wasn't expecting a mech, but I was expecting something. And then like the guy just starts blowing things up. Like, man, humans suck.
He's just but the fact is, if you notice, every human is super adept at dodging the bullet just before it hits the truck. Like they go, climb out of the tank, and then it blows up.
It's
like,
good.
How do you? It's a laser. Like, how do you time that so well?
And basically, Teppei has a standoff with the alien guy, and the alien's like, if you come with me, I won't hurt anybody for now. Because we're gonna eat them later.
They're all gonna end. Oh, we find out that libido is not actually sexual desire.
It's
cute. I think somebody misread a Wikipedia post
something
in Japan.
Made from humans. We don't know if it's human libido or if it's like crushed up humans. They don't explain that.
Do you think it happened like they liked the word libido, how it sounded, put it into the script, and then found out later what it meant, or is it going to turn into some Valvrave thing?
It's not going to turn into Valkyrie. I really don't think so. Anyway, so Teppei's having this cool standoff. This anime is so gorgeous. It has such good cinematography.
You could screenshot pretty much every second and put it as a wallpaper.
Yeah, it's great.
It's that good.
So, and then Teppei's like, all right, I'll go with you.
This is what I love about Daichi.
And then Daichi, still bleeding out of his head, grabs Teppei, and he said, stop trying to act so cool, and then proceeds to act really awesome.
He's like, why stop acting so cool? You don't have to be so tough. And he's like bent over, bleeding from his face, and he pulls him out of the way and just like, oh man.
And then I was like, Daichi, you just don't want to be the main character.
No, he doesn't, but he is such a main character.
And then Daichi, he's like, Teppei is one of us. He'll never go with you. And then the Kilt Gang guy starts charging him. I don't know why he didn't just bother shooting him. Actually, it's probably because he doesn't want to kill Teppei. That would probably make sense. So he charges Daichi. Daichi summons his live blaster, and the guy's like, what? And then Daichi fires it, blows up the guy's mech arm. And it was great. And basically, I'm pretty sure I'm right about them not wanting to kill Teppei because they aim for him. The girl aims for Teppei. And then she doesn't shoot because he's holding Daichi.
Well, because both of them firmly believe that Teppei is going to come back to them. And they actually allude to the fact that Teppei might be spying for them because Daichi, they called his hand something.
Yeah.
It wasn't just the live blaster. It was the fact that he was doing something to get the live blaster. That random thing that we didn't know how he knew how he did it. Mm-hmm. He can summon the live blaster.
They said that's never happened on Earth before.
On an Earthling, at least, right? So we don't know what Daichi is. We've never heard of his mom. So maybe something like that could be.
And then basically the girl alien keeps saying, "Do you think he's a traitor?" And the guy alien keeps saying, "No, that's impossible."
They're probably best buds.
They finally explain it, and he says the reason he can't be a traitor is because once you get the feeling of hunting and killing humans again, that kind of animalistic pleasure overcomes anything else.
I think he meant the kind of pleasure you get from becoming one with the Kilt Gang, and I think it's that kind of pleasure.
I thought that meant like the hunting.
No, I thought it was referring to the combination factor of becoming a Kilt Gang. I thought that's what he meant.
Maybe.
Like, you get the thrill of becoming a Kilt Gang, you can't go back. But I think Teppei, because Daichi's emotions and relationship is so strong.
I think Daichi's keeping him.
Of course. I think Teppei longs for that nakama, the comrade. Oh, One Piece. You pave the way for nakama,
One Piece turned that word into something else.
Into something, meaning if you hear it, you're like, and everybody who hears that word in anime, oh, I'm his best friend. Pretty much like.
You know what? Daichi, I think it's Daichi. He reminds me a lot of Luffy, where he just does whatever he wants and he'll protect his friends no matter what. Yeah. It's great. And he's so trusting, but at the same time, he's not stupid.
That's why Luffy's so good, is because his character is so simple, but he just has a simple goal, and that's to protect his friends.
And be king of the pirates.
And be king of the pirates. I don't think Daichi wants to be king of the pirates, but he might.
Space pirates, maybe?
Yes.
Also, if you noticed on Teppei's hand, like the rotation thing.
There was a countdown, a counter.
Was it a counter? I thought it was the number of Kilt Gangs, because his was lit up differently than the other two.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe it was like a usage thing. Like there's a bunch of spaces. One was filled up. Maybe there's like a usage for how many times you could use a Kilt Gang.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe.
An anime's great when we're throwing out predictions like this.
Yeah.
So Captain Earth still at the top.
It is still, because it's really close to the top because there's so
technically
much.
Great.
Yeah, there's so much story that hasn't been revealed yet.
It's fantastic.
It's a lot like Black Bullet in that aspect.
I'm looking forward to it next week. It's so good. Saturday's a good day for anime.
Oh yeah. Here's another one.
Also came out a couple hours ago.
That is equally good, and I had high hopes for it, and it paid off. It's Mekaku City Actors. Okay. And
I did not drop it. Also,
it went a lot quicker than I expected, but we definitely called it. We definitely called it they would be gathering people. But it went about it way better than we thought.
It pulled it Back to the Future too, and I couldn't be happier.
And two things happened that Raj was wrong about. Mm-hmm. The first thing is that in this anime, the idol character, if you could help me find out her name.
Momo.
Oh, okay, that's simple. Okay, Momo, the idol character. Oh, you know what? Momo is an idol character in Sket Dance, I think. Whatever. Anyone who watched Sket Dance, we keep the faith.
You're the only one I know who's watched that.
Sket Dance is so good.
It's not bad.
Okay. Anyways,
it's funny.
Momo is pretty much acting at this point as the main character. We're seeing everything through her eyes, sort of.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, we're getting explained to her, which is explained to us. What happens is her eyes. It gets explained that actually is not an artist interpretation of something going on. It's actually her power activating. And what we find out is her power is the ability to draw all eyesight to her at one moment. Attention. And she gets in this room, and I'm blanking on the name of the group.
I think it's like Blindfold Bandits or something?
Yeah, Blindfold Bandits.
Blindfold
and
Gang.
all of them are gathered, and they're all people who can have the red eye syndrome. There's... you can do this one if you want to.
I only remember a couple of them. Like, there's Kano, whose ability is to, like... change people's perception of him. So like if you're looking at him, he can make you think that you see something else. For example, like if he can make you think he's a girl. I'm just coming up with that off the top of my head when really he's a guy. There's Kido, who's actually a girl who I thought was a guy.
I knew it was a girl.
Really?
The voice.
Well, she can turn invisible. She has the exact opposite power of Momo, where she draws eyes away from her.
Which is funny because they actually relate to that. What I like about Kido is she hates her power because. And there's a really funny relationship going on between Kido and Kano, I think.
Yeah.
They're really funny. And like that one scene where he gets ninja chopped to the back of the neck and it shows his skeleton.
Yeah, poor guy.
Went like, oh. He just gets owned. And it's really funny. You know, how much of it is him actually getting owned, do you think? Or how much of it is perception? You don't know.
His eyes are never red.
Oh, that's true. So it's so funny. Those two have a really good relationship.
Basically, the eyes being red is them activating their power. There's also a guy who can like read minds, and there's a girl who can freeze people.
I like his power because
read minds guy.
We don't have his name.
We don't have his name.
His power, I personally think, would be the worst power.
Reading minds.
Yeah.
If you can't control it,
you can't control it. Remember that anime?
Code Geass.
And you know the other anime we watched that we dropped? It was a really cutesy one with a girl with red hair, and she could read.
Kotora's son.
Yeah.
She had orange hair.
We dropped that one.
Yeah, that was crap.
But I believe firmly that reading minds uncontrolled would be because the quiet time.
I like the fact that he hates his power.
Oh, I know.
That he doesn't like using it. It
makes sense. Nobody I've ever seen in a fictional area has ever loved reading minds.
Yeah.
It ruins everything. You'd be so tempted to read people's minds. But not only can he read minds, apparently he can read across entire spaces.
Yeah.
Because he was listening in to their conversation through the cell phone.
I think he can probably read the minds of people he knows. Like if he imagines them, he can read their mind. Kind of like Death Note, where he had to picture the person and
they were being very specific, however, with distances. They were saying like hers has an effective distance of this, yours has an effective distance.
They don't
of
give
this.
you the distance, but they say there's a set distance.
They mesh together. You're canceling, so I believe that his is a distance thing, just because of what everyone's been saying.
Okay.
What I like about it is every single one of their powers affected through eyesight.
So basically, what happens in this episode is it goes back into episode 1 with who I thought was the main character and his AI partner. And he turns out to be the older brother of Momo. And so everything that happened in the first episode was caused by the Blindfold Gang.
Yeah, kind of. Yes. The solution was caused by the Blindfold Gang. Episode 1 took place during episode 3, whereas episode 2 was a prequel.
Yeah.
And what happened was during episode 2, there was a shocking moment in the Blindfold Gang's group where they broke glass and they broke her phone. And so they had to go to the mall to get this stuff. Mm-hmm. All of a sudden, the bandit attack from episode 1 happens, which you thought was a setup by the Blindfold Gang.
I did.
But
I was wrong.
It turned out not to be the case. So what happened was they then began using their powers to try to figure out how to get out of it. And that's where you begin to see, because there's a lot of stuff that if you look back on episode 1, you realize, because you're like, why is he showing up? Why are those books falling? Why did he get hit in the head randomly and no one saw it?
I figured those were the powers of the guys who were next to him.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But what I love is if anybody's watched Baccano, that anime does an amazing job of tying in very random stories and putting them together. Unfortunately, unless they can do it again, I don't know if city actors can pull off this storytelling again.
I don't know, but I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. Okay. It was really good.
Episode's great. Story's great. I loved how it all connected. It was a really good story. What I love, and you don't really, you say I'm overhyping it, but the art reminds me so much of Mirror's Edge.
It's so metallic.
But I love the starkness and the pops, and I love the highlighted sequences where it's just gray and popping red.
I like it for the exact, or I dislike it for the exact reason you like it. I dislike it because it's not very colorful.
But you don't like Kawai Complex, and that one's the most colorful one.
I don't like Kawai Complex because it's boring as dicks. See, Bakemonogatari is extremely colorful.
The only reason I paused there is because I was trying to think of something more boring than dicks. But how can you even quantify dicks as a boringness? Who came up with that saying?
It's from Rooster
You even
Teeth.
said earlier, we were sitting in this room, and you're like, man, it's dark as dicks in here.
It's from the Achievement Hunter Let's Plays. There's one guy, his name is Jeff. He spends a lot of time comparing things to dicks, and it just kind of gets to you.
I was like, what the heck? I've never heard it before.
We have a friend named June, and I went camping with him last year or 2 years ago. And this was like at the height of when I was watching Rooster Teeth. And I was like, I wonder if I can do the same thing that Jeff did to me to June. So I spent the entire 3-day camping trip comparing every single thing to dicks. And then after the camping trip ended, I stopped altogether. But now, even 2 years later, June still does it. And then I told him about it. He's like, you bastard. I can't stop.
I can see how it'd be very easy to fall into the habit, but I'm never going to do that. That's ridiculous. So Mekaku City Actors, I'm going to give it a very high ranking because this story can go so many good places. You know what it's like? It's like that anime that you dropped last season that was super colorful, schizophrenic, had a really hyper energetic main character girl. It was a reboot of an old series. It was about people transforming.
Gatchaman Crowds.
Okay, it felt like Gatchaman.
What a piece of shit.
Okay, it felt like Gatchaman. I watched the entire thing through. The ending was
and
crappy.
You told me you hated it.
Yeah, it was bad. Gatchaman, it's like Gatchaman Crowds done well. That's what it's beginning to feel like that a little bit.
Well, pretty much every anime's Gatchaman Crowds done as well, as far as I'm concerned.
You know what I mean, but it's not even.
I know what you mean. It's good. I'm glad it didn't get to the point where I had to drop it.
This is also another reason for the 3-episode rule,
which you don't abide by, which is funny.
Only with fan service situations. Like I said, if the boobs are animated, I'm gone.
Okay, so Mekaku City Actors, moving on. That was good. Next, we're going to talk about Haikyu. So, Haikyu, it's been about a week since that came out. Because it comes out Sundays, right?
There's another one tomorrow?
It's coming out tomorrow.
Yes.
There's a training. It was a training episode, more or less, because they're getting ready for the practice game.
You're beginning to see a lot of development between the two main characters.
Between Hinata and Kageyama, it's mostly Kageyama learning to respect Hinata.
Well, what happened is, I'm assuming. Sorry, I'm just gonna get his name again. I'm really trying, everybody. Hinata, right?
Hinata, yeah.
Hinata sucks at everything except spiking. Because what happened was, all throughout his career in middle school, nobody played volleyball. He was the only one on his team. So he pretty much only got people to set for him so he could practice jumping, which is why he's so overpowered with his jump. Mm-hmm. But now his teammates and Kageyama are trying to force him to return a set or return even just a
serve.
A serve.
Because Kageyama says if the only thing you can do is spike,
you're useless to me.
You're worthless.
And Kageyama, it keeps alluding to something. And I'm assuming what happened was they called him the king of the court. His teammates got rid of him because he was so arrogant, and it showed in a quick flashback, but he tried to set to somebody and his team just abandoned him. And I'm assuming the reason his team lost in the tournament is because his team walked out on him. And he felt bummed about that because his whole thing was he's desiring teammates who cared.
I don't know about that.
I think so. Anyways, his thing was he says, I won't set to you unless you can return a serve. And
which is fair.
Which is really fair. And I don't blame either one of the characters. They both have really good motivations for what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. I was totally on board with Kageyama on this.
We get introduced to two new characters.
Whose names we don't know.
Both of them are really tall. One of them is a jerk.
I don't really see him as a jerk.
They're going to be good teammates. The weird thing about this anime, and I haven't seen it actually in a long time with sports anime, is that the team is having a lot of infighting.
Yeah, it doesn't happen too often.
And it's actually kind of interesting. And it's making the beginning of the anime interesting due to the fact that the infighting, they haven't even begun the season yet. They haven't even entered into tournament games with other people, but there's character development going on and there's like challenges. I like it. There's really not much to talk about. They're going to start a game tomorrow.
That's the issue with Haikyu. There's not too much to talk about, but it's good.
I like the characters. The two main guys, really good. The art style is really cool. Very Fox-like.
Yeah, they have strangely warped faces.
But it's cool. I really like the art style. It helps that Crunchyroll does 1080p. I remember when we found out we could watch 1080p anime. That was like...
Oh, we can't go back anymore, man.
That was mind-blowing.
Anything below HD is just not worth it.
Yeah.
I remember watching the first episode of Attack on Titan in 240, and I was like, oh, this anime is so good. And then I watched it 1080, I was like, man, that blows it out of the water.
So Haikyu is it's definitely one of the top sports anime of this season.
I mean, there's only 3, so...
Yeah, and it's really good. So now we're going to move on to the next one. Not as good as Baby Steps, but it's not so bad that I'm going to drop it because I really, really, really like the dynamics between the characters.
What are you talking about?
Baby Steps.
You just said Baby Steps is not as good as Baby Steps?
Oh, sorry. It's been 2.5 hours. I'm trying. Baby Steps is not as good as Haikyu.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's still good enough to keep around. Now, you've been teasing me with your opinions on this because I actually like Baby Steps. You know why? I went out the other day and bought a couple Wilson rackets with my fiance, and we have some great rallies together.
You guys play tennis?
We love tennis, both of us. And so when I'm watching him learn how to play, I'm getting all those other side feelings, right? You know what I mean? That's probably why I like it more.
It's okay. It's just okay. Something that I liked about it, which I quickly found out was kind of a detriment to it, is that the main character did not have a power. Haikyu, Hinata can jump. Kuroko's no basket, Kuroko can turn invisible.
The cool thing
I shield
about him
21
is
in this pass.
He doesn't have a power.
That's what I just said. I liked it.
He's really good at focusing on
which is
things
not a
and
power.
learning. And like I was saying in the beginning, is he has so much forward movement.
But there's an issue that comes with that, which is why I think it's only okay right now. It makes it extremely slow for progress.
Oh, that's great. You know how much I love not warping forward.
Okay, here's an example. History's Strongest Disciple Kenichi. It was the exact same, except it was a martial arts anime / manga where he had no talent, no powers. The only thing he did was work extremely hard. Whenever someone put 2 hours, he put in 20. Like that, right? It's very similar to Achan. But the thing with that is when I started reading it, it had like 500 chapters. So I read like maybe 200 chapters in a week. So despite it being slow, I could see the power coming.
But what I like about it...
This is week to week and nothing happens. Well, it's not that nothing happens.
No, there is stuff though.
It's just
there is a little bit each episode that keeps
too small. It's too little.
It's not too little.
I need some more.
You don't play tennis though. Like I'm understanding his pain.
I don't play basketball, but I like Kuroko.
Kuroko's different than this. They were all OP off the bat.
Yeah.
They had the only training they needed was to go from godlike to Cthulhu-like. Like it wasn't even that big of. But Baby Steps, I love it because he's garnering attention. There's an interesting dynamic between all the 3 characters. It's good, and I'm interested to see what's going to go on. I know he's going to be able to return to serve because it's a shonen anime, but I want to see how he builds up to it. And you know what I like? I like that this series doesn't feel like it's going to end after 12. It doesn't feel like it's going to end after 24.
There's going to be 12? Oh, okay.
I'm saying it feels like it's going to go on, and I can follow it.
It is an ongoing manga.
It has a good feeling for me. Haikyu feels like it's going to end.
I'm okay with it ending.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm okay with any series
I just said earlier, if I could find a slice of life anime that lasted forever, I'd follow it. But it's something that lasts and it doesn't skip. You know what? Bleach. Okay, I'm gonna talk about Bleach for a second.
Okay, if this argument is gonna be after Soul Society, it's not gonna be sound.
I know,
because Bleach went to crap after that.
I know. Bleach was great until Soul Society ended.
Right.
The mangaka ruined it because he ripped Ichijo out. Is that wrong?
Ichigo.
Oh, sorry, I was close.
You were pretty close.
Okay, Ichigo out, changed the entire world, put him back in, and nothing made sense. There was no continuity at all. He ruined it. You can't even read the first season and compare it to the second season. He was the most overpowered character in the entire world. And
he got an enormous power down for absolutely
But that doesn't make any sense, right?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
And so I like an anime like One Piece that I can follow and it will go. And I've been waiting for a sports anime that does that. And you know what? Ice Shield was like that. You followed the characters. It was slow too. You have to admit it was pretty slow.
Yeah, but in Ice Shield, we got a game in like the first 2 chapters.
But he sucked too. Sure, he was fast.
He was overpowered. He had speed and nobody could keep up with him.
I guess so, but he didn't even know how to use his speed properly.
All he had to do was run.
So, anyways, my opinion on baby steps is it's one you're going to have to baby through.
It's okay. I think I would like it better if I was able to binge it. I honestly do.
Well, you know what? Then I wouldn't be that offended. But the thing is, you're going to be hearing about it from me every week. So.
Yeah, I don't plan to drop it, but it's not something I look forward to every week. It's something that I get out of the way, like Kawai Complex.
Speaking of dropped, this is one that I definitely did not follow the 3-episode rule.
No, you dropped episode 1.
What about you?
I want to talk about that. So Valkyrie of Darkness, Spencer dropped episode 1. I said last week, if it doesn't give me action in the 3rd episode, I'm done. And lo and behold, the anime gods delivered. It finally gave me exactly what I wanted. It gave me gore, it gave me action. Spoiler warning right here. It cut the main character in half and she's dead. It gave me exactly what I wanted.
What?
She's dead. She's air quotes dead.
Oh.
I don't think she's going to be dead permanently, but she's cut in half. She has no body. Or she has 2 parts of her body. Anyway. It's
that
still
like at the end?
It was at the very end.
Cliffhanged it?
Kind of. The main character, I really don't like this guy. He sucks. But he was like, we're still okay. He has an idea. I think I know what his idea is. Basically, the magic thing on the back of their neck has 3 switches. One that kills them, one that disables their magic for like 24 hours, and one that they don't know what it does. And I'm just going to assume that one saves their life.
Why the heck would they have such specific switches?
Yeah. Well, the one that kills them, I understand. The one that's
I'm not going to hate for non-hate reasons. A lot of people are following this. I see it on Reddit a lot.
Yeah. The gore is good. Okay, you've never watched this. I'm assuming you've never watched this because you'd be probably scarred for life.
Are you talking about
Elfen Lied?
I was going to say.
We're talking about Elfen Lied. This reminds me very much of Elfen Lied. It has a crappy main character, but it has amazing, disgusting gore that I love. It's the same reason I love slasher movies, the same reason I love horror movies. It's bloody, it's messy.
I wouldn't... You know what? Like... Seeing the preview, an astronomy couple, she comes back to life. Would you ever expect this anime to go the way it's gone?
That's why I hated it in the very beginning. I still can't say I like it, but I'm enjoying the gore it's giving me. So I'm still going to stick to it. I'm pretty sure the Switch is going to bring it back to life somehow. That's really it. I
might binge it one day, but man...
I would say it's not worth it, honestly. It's just giving me the gore that I love. So, yeah, Valkyrie of Darkness, I still can't say it's good, but I mean, it gave me what I wanted, and that's all I can really ask at this point. Moving on, one that you've caught up with this, haven't you? I
just caught up today, yeah.
The World is Still Beautiful. So what do you think?
This 3-episode rule, I'm so contradictory, but man, midway through the 2nd episode, I was like, I might drop this one. It was going very slowly. I wasn't really liking what the story was. All of a sudden, by the end of the 2nd, the beginning of the 3rd, the 2 main characters, their relationship got so cute. And
I love their
beautiful.
relationship. It's great.
What really got me is it didn't go the route of her completely rejecting him 100%. Mm-hmm. It went the route of her actually not falling for him, but wanting to protect him, and it might turn into a love in that sense.
She wants to give him what he gives back. He's always saying that he wants to protect her, and she's always saying she doesn't just want to be protected.
Yeah, we're not going to really reveal much of the plot. What's pretty much is happening is the king rules with a heavy hand, but when the main heroine came in, he's beginning to lighten up. They want to get married officially, but the reigning priesthood of the land is really against ethnic diversity, and the king's background is ethnically...
They're against the king in general, because when he rose to power, he
half-blood.
destroyed the class system.
He's a muggle? Is that the word?
Mudblood. He destroyed the class system. Yep. And you can understand why rich people would hate that. Yeah. It's a very corrupt church.
Oh, he slaughtered it, and the church is really corrupt. And so at the end of this episode, she was in the dungeon.
They basically said, if you want to get married, there's a trial you have to go through. You go through this underground maze, find a temple, get a ring.
She found the ring itself. No, she found the box, but the ring was gone.
It's probably the ring that he gave her.
And then she got surrounded. And you know what it did for the first time?
That was so weird, wasn't it?
What the heck was with that?
What was that?
That was like a next time on Pokemon.
It was like next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, it was totally like, I haven't seen an anime that has done that for years.
Yeah, that was really off-putting.
Like, will the princess be able to make it through this trial? See you next time, kids. And I was like, yeah, wait, what? No, what? I'm not into this. Like, I know it's a cliffhanger. You don't have to tell me.
But yeah, I think the ring is the one that he gave her for protection.
What anime was I talking about that I absolutely hated the ending and it ruined it?
I don't know. There's a lot of animes
Remember,
you hate.
I was watching it when you came in, and it's this, the one we just picked up together. We don't even have that on here.
I didn't write it down.
This one, we'll talk about it just right now quickly.
We're not done. The World is Beautiful yet.
Oh.
I'm enjoying it.
I'm enjoying it too.
The scene where she goes to the orphanage and they tell her that she's changed the king to the point where everybody just noticed it. Everybody in the world.
I love that you don't like this, but this is good because his off-screen character development is being brought on screen.
Yeah,
through her discovering. And it's so neat to say that he would go around and say, like, these flowers remind me of her. Like, it's so cute.
It's great.
It's really nice.
Even though he doesn't particularly like flowers.
Yeah. So this next one, Rajpreet said maybe you should watch it. He didn't know if I'd like it, but it's called the Irregular at Magic High School or something like that. And like the premise is that magic was turned into technology, and that people who are good at technology, because this is way past World War III, right? And
yeah, they had World War III already.
And there's government districts now. Everyone's kind of settled in, and they're training high school kids, of course, to be good at magics.
Okay, here's the thing. Last season, an anime came out called Magical Warfare. Very similar kind of story. Yeah. There was a high school for magicians. It was absolute garbage. It was complete shit.
We tried it for one episode, and the girl's transforming powers made her breast make bigger and her shirt exploded.
I stuck to my 3-episode rule, but man, was it difficult to stick through that.
I mean, my dropping of an anime for reasons that you think are bad has never not worked out.
This is how you do a magical high school anime right. This is how you do it proper. The action is good. The main character is really cool.
There's a lot of story points. It's a very expositional anime.
It does the thing that's opposite of Kuroko. I was discussing this with you earlier, where it does the action first and then explains how everything happened.
Did you watch those Sherlock Holmes movies where he would like fight and then the fight would happen? It doesn't really do that. But it's in that sense. Like, the action happens, then it's all explained afterwards. It's kind of like, you're like, okay, like, I get it.
They make up a bunch of stuff
They're like,
for the fight to work.
The angular waves, and then you did you did that? And we're like, of course you did that. And it's just like, oh, man. They're building a really good foundational world as to how this all works.
Yeah, and there's a lot of mysteries, too. They talk about the main character having his true power and it not being discovered. We've seen him fight a lot. But he doesn't seem particularly overpowered. He just seems very quick.
But also, there was one point where he was fixing his sister's...
it's an Onichan anime, by the way. His sister's in love with him.
Yeah, he was fixing his sister's CAD machine, and there's an awkward moment where she was all in...
She basically knocks him out.
Yeah.
And then he goes through like a repair sequence.
Yeah, a repair sequence.
I think he's a robot.
We think he's an android because Rajpreet said at the beginning he was watching, and the brother was with the sister.
No, he was with somebody else. He was fighting in the war or some kind of war.
Yes, he was fighting
and
in the
she
war.
was watching him, and she was a little kid, but he's the exact same age.
He's the exact same age, yeah.
Or at least he looks like he is.
You know what's interesting? I just realized just a second going back to Mekaku City Actors. Remember the scene where her mom died?
Yeah.
When she was crying on her lap about the dad dying, the brother was sitting on the couch.
Yeah, he was.
And you saw his face. You could have made the connection. but I didn't because he was on his phone. Anyways, that just reminded me of that.
I completely forgot what I was going to say now. You derailed me.
I know, whatever though.
Oh, I was going to say, the main character does not look like a high schooler. He looks like he's 25.
But this is a classic like preppy high school anime where all like most of the men, they're really like Code Geass skinny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're very proper. I like the main character though because some of his thoughts come out loud. He's like, I think she got the wrong idea, but whatever.
He just doesn't care.
He just is so chill.
He knows his sister's in love with him, and it just doesn't bother him. Like, he'll mess with people. Like, people always tell him that he and his sister are more like a couple, and he's like, yeah, well, I've thought about it, and if she wasn't my sister, if we weren't related by blood, I probably would have taken her by now.
And even the sister got dragged
along.
And
the sister's like, yes. And then he's like, of course, I'm only kidding. And then the sister's like all sad and depressed, and he's like, oh, crap.
There's a lot. One of the coolest things about this anime are the action sequences. When the magic is being used with the fighting, very well animated. I feel like this isn't the best season.
No, but it's good. It's solid.
It has a lot of ability to move forward with its concept story, and it's got great art.
The third episode, it was the fourth episode we just watched, I think. It had so much dialogue and exposition that they actually took out the opening and ending themes to fit it all in.
Which is strange.
Usually they do that at the last episode of the season.
But I mean, whatever. If you want to break the meta, you can do whatever.
It was great.
Want.
I loved it. Yeah. I'm really enjoying the series. I'm very happy that my friend introduced me to it.
Yeah, so we're going to be following that one too.
Oh. So next, 1 Week Friends.
I like this episode.
Ishukan Friends. This was the one where the friend learns her secret, right?
And he just destroys her. What I like about Shogo, which is, I think is that.
Oh, you know his name.
I know.
Holy crap, you remembered the name.
I think I distinctly said I'm going to remember this guy's name. Anyway, Shogo goes up to, I don't know what her name is, Hirayama or something like that. What's the blonde guy's name?
Hase?
Okay, so Hase and Shogo are best friends. The girl who forgets all the time, Hase is just giving everything to try to get her to remember every week. And what I like, remember we were like, what are they going to do? What they've begun doing is they've begun skipping the steps where they don't know each other and just hitting right back into where they pick up again.
Which is nice.
And that way you're beginning to see character development without all the awkward jumps.
Yeah.
And they're not listing day by day like they used to. Things are jumping around more. It's good. So Shogo goes up, tries to get introduced. But what I like about Shogo is he cuts straight to the point beyond what I was going to cut to. I actually never once assumed that she was lying.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, I never once assumed that she would be tricking or trying to deceive. Probably because we've been seeing into her life. You know what I mean? We've seen into it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But you know what? It strikes me as very strange. I like that he talked about the psychological issues and the damage and all that stuff.
Yeah, Shogo came up with a lot of ideas that I never thought of. He's very clever.
But I think what's going to happen, unfortunately, is there's going to be a triangle.
Love triangle? I don't think Shogo has any interest.
I think she's going to fall for him.
She might.
Well,
she can remember him.
I loved how that's so funny. I called it too. Hase has tried super hard to get remembered, and there's one moment where there was kind of a breakthrough where she remembered a good thing, a good memory. She remembered making eggs for Hase with specifically 18 grams of sugar. That was one thing. She was writing a thing on the 18 and it reminded her.
But she doesn't remember Hase himself.
And so Hase's like, dang it. And so Shogo goes and she goes, hey. And he goes, oh yeah, you met my friend. He's like, yeah, I know him. And he's like, huh? Why?
He's like, why are you more important than me?
She's like, I don't know. And he's like, wait, didn't you say that you don't remember people? And I was like, wait, he's all full of bad memories. That's why. So they don't think he's... I think it's going to go a good direction. If any of you have watched Kimi ni Toboko or whatever it's called.
Man, you were bad at these names.
I'm mixing up Kimi ni Todoke and Kimi Toboku.
So you don't know which one you're talking about?
I do know what they are. It's just a tongue twister to try to go at. So pretty much, the anime looks almost identical to My Friends or whatever it's called. From Me to You or whatever Kimi Toboku.
Kimi ni Todoke, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the one.
The one with a bunch of guy friends, the art is very similar. This anime, that was on my list. I'm sticking with it.
I'm not going to drop it because I don't know. It's hard to describe. I didn't dislike the episode, but I didn't like it as much as I feel like I should have.
Well, you know what? I feel like the world's getting built pretty good. So I think that something interesting is going to happen next week.
So I hope you're right about that.
Yeah.
So the next one is one that I don't think you've caught up on.
I haven't yet, but you know what? After everyone's comments and your comments, I'm probably going to catch up with it. You know what? Be proud of me. This is off Crunchy. So that's a lot of work.
I don't believe you. So the next one we're talking about is Akuma no Riddle. This will be the last one we're covering. And so I've caught up. Last one we're reviewing in full. Yeah. So I've caught up to it. It's good. What I really like about it is that each episode focuses on a different assassin. So in every episode, you get the entire backstory of the assassin, what their motivations are, what their specific method of killing is, and at the same time, you still get character development for both. I don't remember the main girl's name. It's like Akuma, no, or something like that. Or
it wouldn't be Akuma.
It starts with
the name of the
starts
title?
with an A. Oh, Tokaku is their last name. Tokaku and Haru Ichinose.
Okay.
So you still get. It's because she says her goddamn name in third person all the time. She's
Oh,
like, Haru's
okay.
gonna study. Haru's gonna do her best. I hate it when characters do that. While the main girl Tokaku just calls her Ichinose, so I know her name. Okay, you know what? Characters who say their name in the third person is pretty lame. It's just not cute. So
Does that actually happen?
what in real life? No,
Oh, okay. I mean, like in Japanese.
I don't know. I've never encountered someone who does
Again,
that.
if you do know of anybody, just tell us about it at JNB Podcast.
Right. So one thing I had a concern about rather for this anime is that the entire class is assassins except for Haru. And so Haru would be the most useless character that does nothing. And at one point, basically what the assassins have to do if they're going to kill her is have to give her notification ahead of time.
Haru's the girl who everyone's assuming is the one they need to kill.
Yeah,
right?
and
okay,
she is the one they need to
really
kill.
one that she wants to have friends with.
Yeah, and wants to graduate. So they have to give her a note that says, I'm going to come kill you, or whatever. It doesn't actually have to say anything. But you have 48 hours. If you fail in the 48 hours, you're expelled. And so
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
this is actually the clever way, because Haru doesn't want anybody to die at all. So what Tokaku tries to do her best to knock them out for the 48 hours when they come to attack her, instead of killing them, when she could easily, well, I won't say easily, but when she could kill
Is
them.
Haru Tokaku or
No.
Haru is Ichinose?
Haru's
Tokaku's
Ichinose.
the main-
Tokaku's her defender. Oh, I forgot to mention that to you. Tokaku decided that she's going to defend Haru instead of trying to kill her.
okay.
And you find out the reason is they're both haunted by their past for similar reasons. In Tokaku's own words, she said, the words of the dead are cursed because someone who's precious to them that have died have told them to do something, and it's holding them back in their lives.
Interesting.
In Haru's case, it's to live on and like fulfill your life. So it's not really a curse for
So
her.
she had a good one.
She had a good one.
Okay.
For Tokaku, it's don't kill.
Oh,
So Tokaku, every time she tries to kill someone, she can't because those words resound in her head.
weird. That's an interesting concept.
So for Tokaku, she kind of relates to Haru in that, so that's why she wants to protect her. But Haru, being as naive she is, she thinks because Tokaku turned to her side, she can turn everybody to her side. So whenever someone tries to kill her, she doesn't tell Tokaku, at least the first time.
Is she aware of the death wish?
Yeah, she knows exactly what's happening. So Haru gets the first like note, whatever, and she doesn't tell Tokaku about it. She's like, I'll handle this myself. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're going to die. She's an assassin. Sure enough, Haru gets knocked out. She gets like kidnapped, tied up. She gets stabbed in the leg with scissors. And I'm like, well, this is it. You're an idiot. This is what you get. And then Haru kicks the assassin in the face. The assassin goes flying across the room. She takes the scissors, cuts herself free, and runs. And I was like, what?
She can actually defend herself?
Yeah, to an extent. And I was like, she's alive. She saved her
she
life.
got into an assassin school, right? Like she.
But it's not for assassins.
Oh, okay.
So it was just like, what? And then, she can't still fight an assassin off. So Tokaku comes, saves her life. So so far, all the episodes have been like that, where it's just introducing different assassins. There have been two have failed to kill her. One has managed to injure her.
Who failed?
You wouldn't know if I told you.
Oh,
the ponytail one who likes scissors, and there's one with glasses who actually didn't want to be an assassin. Because if you succeed in assassination, you get one wish granted to you, and her wish was to get all assassination types cut from her.
One of the girl's wishes was to love her brother, right?
No, that's the card game one. That's in
Oh
the card game
yeah,
anime.
that's a different anime.
And so, the girl with scissors, the first one who failed, her wish was to get a free, she called it serial killer insurance. And she said, I want to be able to kill anybody who I want, whenever I want, and never get in trouble for it.
Wow,
It's a good thing she failed.
That's a pretty messed up wish.
Yeah. So there's still a lot of girls. I feel so bad for the teacher because every time someone gets expelled, he's so sad.
The white hair guy?
The teacher. No, he doesn't have white hair. Their homeroom teacher.
Oh, he's not the guy who looks like
Because
Claude,
he has no idea what's going on. He's like, well, I know she's been in school for one day, but I'm really gonna miss her. And then the second girl he left, he's like, I wish you good luck wherever you go. And I'm like, oh, this poor guy, he just wants to do good. But yeah, Akuma no Riddle is really good. All the assassins have their own unique assassination style. They're all very quirky characters. They're very interesting.
Yeah, at this point, I didn't really drop it. I just never went back to it. And seeing as you're going to give me an update every week, I might watch it when the season's over. But I mean, there's so much. I'm not hating on all you people who like Akuma no Riddle. I'm not. I'm just not going to watch it for a while.
I mean, you removed if your flag breaks from your plate, you could put Akuma no Riddle on it instead.
I guess so, but it just depends. I haven't mapped out on which day anime comes out yet.
Oh, I've done that.
So I need to figure that out.
My list is enormous. Okay, so those are all the ones that we're going to cover in detail. There's a few anime I want to go over very quickly.
Have you caught up to those ones?
I've caught up to everything, except for.
You've caught up to Logy too?
Yeah.
Oh.
So the next one I'm going to talk about is the one I'm going to try to pronounce the name again, and it's not going to work very well. Altier, Escha, and Logy, Tasogare no Sora no Renkinjutsushi. It's the one that I talked about that I'm pretty sure is based off RPGs meant for girls. So the first episode that we watched together, Spencer, I was waiting for combat. Anybody plays RPGs knows combat's your major driving gameplay. Am I right?
Yep.
So the first episode I waited for combat. We got half a second of combat in that episode, right? In the first episode. Yeah. So second episode, nothing. Still just all story. Third episode, finally 10 or 15 minutes of just like straight battle.
Oh, really?
And it bored the hell out of me.
Oh.
It was so boring.
Are you dropping it?
It's gone. I'm telling you right now, I'm dropping it.
Okay.
It has you might like it because it does build the world, but it just doesn't interest me.
Okay, well, I might pick it up when it's all done.
One thing that it does that annoys me is that at the end of every episode, it tries to hook you with like I won't call them cliffhangers, but like hooks. You know how in the first episode they give you like the ruins, like we might explore these. Yeah. In the second episode, it shows you different ruins, and you hear a voice saying "Stay away." And then I was like, okay, I'll watch the third episode. And then the third episode, it's like they wake up a fairy with their fight, and the fairy's like, "Who woke me up?" I'm like, no, you're not. You're not gonna get hooked. I'm done. Forever, we're gone. So it's dropped. Next one I want to talk about, Soul Eater Not. Now you've never seen Soul Eater.
No.
Soul Eater Not is a
it's getting really big
to a Soul Eater.
Everyone's liking it.
Really?
Is this true?
It's not. I have an issue with it. Soul Eater Not is cutesy. It's fun. I do like it. But the thing is, it just really makes me want to watch Soul Eater. Because it feels like an appetizer. Well, Soul Eater is like the main course with the huge world out there that they explore and all that.
Yeah.
Soul Eater Not is kind of, I hesitate to call it a slice of life, but it's kind of like that. And it's just, all it does is make me want to watch Soul Eater. Whenever they have a cameo from a character from Soul Eater, I'm like, yes, a character's here. And then they leave, and I was like, I wish they stayed longer. So I'll give Soul Eater Not this. Soul Eater, I'm going to rewatch it. I'm going to rewatch it. But I'm not.
You kept up to date with Blade and Soul?
Yeah, of course. I'm talking about that later. Soul Eater Not, it's not bad. I would say it's pretty good, but Soul Eater itself is better. So I'm dropping it. I'm going to Soul Eater.
Oh, okay. So
Blade
far, I'm 2 for 2 with what I haven't been watching. Awesome.
Blade and Soul, I just want to get a quick update. It surprisingly is going very. I won't call it plot heavy, but there is a plot. A decent one at that. It's actually kind of funny where the main character, her name is Alka. She keeps getting like invited to other groups and she hangs out with them, and then people come and kill all of their like everybody except for the leader, and then Alka leaves. So it's 2 entire groups that she's inadvertently slaughtered. Like,
oh boy.
She couldn't help it. But the action has gotten really good. It's still really good. And it's actually funny sometimes too. I'm really enjoying it. I'm keeping up with it. It's good. The plot is pretty good too. One thing that's really weird is there's at one point she goes to a bar, and then the owner of the bar starts dancing, and it switches from 2D to CG, but everything else is still 2D. It's just the dance, and the dance is happening in the background. It's just so it doesn't fit.
Yeah.
It's so weird, and it just took me out of the show. And it seemed most of the people in the comments agreed with me. That just didn't fit with the CG. The only other times they use CG is there's a girl who uses guns. And she's like, you've played Metal Gear Solid 2, haven't you?
Yep.
Do you remember Revolver Ocelot, who could bounce his bullets around?
Yeah.
She does that, and it's all CG, and it's actually really cool. But yeah, so Blade and Soul. Actually, I looked up because I wanted to play the game after I caught up. I'm like, man, I really want to play the RPG or the MMO. It's not released in North America yet.
Oh,
it's like
okay.
it's like TBA. I'm like, no, I want to play.
How's the Spencer rating on that one?
Oh, low. No, don't watch it. You won't like it. The girl I said who likes to use guns just wears I wouldn't even call it a bikini top, but it's similar.
That's all she wears?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh boy.
You won't like it. But the last one I want to talk about, and I'm going to talk about very lightly, Selector Infected Wixoss. It's good. I've more or less caught up to it. But really, it's not worth talking about. There's not much I can really give. Especially if you don't watch it, there's not much I can discuss about it. The plot is okay. It's very cutesy. And there's no real big how would I say this?
Hook.
Yeah. There's no real big hook. I like it because I like card games.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's probably one of the only reasons you might keep up with it.
I like it because it's cute and it's card games. That's pretty much it. The action's okay. I wouldn't call it really good. I have absolutely no idea how this card game works. It's the same as Hikaru no Go. I watched the entirety of Hikaru no Go. I read the entirety of Hikaru no Go, and I still have no idea how to play Go. It makes no sense to me.
I watched about 20 episodes of Hikaru no Go. It was good. You know what's a great anime? I'm just going to plug it right now.
Go for it.
Chihaya Furu.
Oh, that's on my list.
You know what? I don't even know what that game is, but holy cow. The characters and the peaceful atmosphere and actually how intense they made that card game, it's really good. It's just great. It's really good. There's our recommendation of the day.
So we've been going for 3 hours.
3 hours, 5 minutes, and 40 seconds.
You know what? We might have to split this into
That's
two.
That's what I'm saying. I told you. We have to split
I didn't think we'd go above
I knew we wouldn't be able to just do a recap in 20 minutes. There's way too much to say.
Yeah.
The problem is we're covering 20 different animes. Even if we only talk about each for 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's a lot. All right. I guess we'll split this into two then. I don't know. What do you call that? Episode 8 or episode 7?
We'll call it episode 7 and episode 8. Episode 7 will be devoted directly to World Golly Knows, and this will be the recap. I know you want to push the traffic into World Golly Knows. I know that. But we can hype both. It's just fine.
I think what we should do is call it episode 7 recap instead of episode 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Episode 7 recap.
I see. Episode 7 World Golly Knows and episode 7 recap.
Okay. So
it's freaking late, man.
I know. I just want to let you guys know that we love you. And for those 1,000 people that listened, thank you so much. We were blown away. We're a couple of guys sitting in my kitchen talking into a garage or a Guitar Hero microphone strapped to a broken mic stand, taped together with tuck tape, staring at notes on my MacBook. We're just two dudes, and we love talking about anime, and we're so thankful that you guys have been listening to us.
Yeah, if you want to keep up with our stuff, please go ahead and follow us on Twitter at JNB Podcast. Those are the letters J, N, and B.
We're pretty much only going to exclusively go through there. The email, if you really want to, is jamesnbrownpodcast@gmail.com. What we really would like is Raj has his phone on him. We're going to be trying to record. We'll announce on Twitter when we're recording.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we would love to give a shout out to anybody on Twitter who has any questions for us, of course. So that'd be cool.
Yeah, during the podcast, we take questions over Twitter or things you want us to discuss, and we'll discuss them.
Yeah.
So, again, any questions you have for us, any recommendations for series you want us to review, go ahead and send us a tweet.
And one of the best things that you guys could do for us is share us with your friends. If you know anybody who likes anime in any regard, don't hesitate to drop our names.
Yeah, send them a link to our Podomatic or our iTunes page. That'd be good. Yeah.
Speaking of Podomatic, you guys absolutely wrecked us.
Our bandwidth was decimated.
We have per month as a free user 15 gigs per month. We were at, I would say, 1 gig. I would assume at least 1 gig.
I would say, yeah, around.
And then when we released it on Reddit, we went from 1 gig to 25 gigs in one day.
We're close to 30, if not at 30 by now.
And we just got decimated. Podomatic was like, whoa, you're pretty popular, so we're going to give you 3 days or we're going to shut you down. And about 500 of you, I think it said.
It was 300.
300 people got shut down. And so, we've had to now begin, putting a little money into Podomatic. So we're okay with that. We're having a lot of fun with this. But, thank you so much for listening, guys. Yeah, that blows us out of the water.
Fantastic.
Cool. So, you know what? I think it's about time we wrap this up. So next week, we are going to be reviewing, again, the seasons that are coming out. All 20 of them that we're following.
Yeah, but the week after that, Spencer, we have something special.
Yeah. 2 people...
two
people really, really, really wanted us to review Toradora. So you know what? We want to listen to you guys. So we're actually going to take the next 2 weeks to go through Toradora, compare notes, and then 2 weeks from now, we're going to review it.
Yeah, it'll be similar to this podcast where we'll have the Toradora section and then the recap section. Next week will just be the recap. I mean, that's a podcast on its own. We're running 3 hours, 10 minutes here. Three-ish. So, yeah, thank you for sticking with us for this long if you listen to both of them.
Yeah, so we will be coming back next week with a recap, but then the next week after that, we'll come up with a double header.
That's going to be... Oh, my God. Okay. If you guys don't know, Spencer loves Toradora. I think it's a subpar anime.
I think that's going to make for a good argument.
Or I'm going to start loving it because it's been a few years.
I think so.
We'll see. So I'm Raj of James and Brown. You're Spencer.
I know. I'm Spencer. Let's just try that one again. You try that one again.
Sure.
You know what? They understand. It's been
3 hours. Okay. I'm Raj of James and Brown.
And I'm Spencer of James and Brown.
Thank you so much for sticking with us today. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye, guys.